Kelsi, thanks for joining me. You have always supported and inspired me, and it's an honor to finally interview you. I feel we could swap supernatural experiences for hours. When did you first discover your childhood sensitivities were actually clairvoyance? And besides Lola, do you have other friends from the other side?
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to join you here. Thank you so much for having me. This has been such a wild journey, and I'm just so grateful that we're able to support each other. And you've definitely given me a lot of insight when it comes to music and stuff like that. And it's cool to be able to like share these paranormal spiritual experiences. And I don't know, I just think it's so fascinating and magical to connect with people on a deep level like that. So thank you so much for having me. I feel like I don't want to just say like, oh, I've had these gifts, because every single person is capable of opening up these gifts or having these gifts. It's just a part of, opening your third eye, or how connected you are to your soul or source energy, whatever you want to call it, the universe. I was really afraid of things for a long time when I was a child, because I would see things that I didn't understand and talk to things and have just weird experiences. I would always mention shapes in the clouds that no one else saw, and just, I would just see things differently. I was my mom just labeled me as creative because she didn't really understand it either. She wasn't spiritual. She has her religion and stuff, but I was not taught in any religion or grew up in anything. So I grew up very, very confused. And then in the past couple of years, I found out that these gifts, or this openness that runs in my family, it is on my Native American side, and my ancestors would do seances and labeled themselves as psychics and mediums and stuff like that. So it's just really cool, because I feel like I've been able to just really come into myself on a deep, deep level, tapping into my soul and connecting with source energy and becoming one with source, God, the universe, whatever you want to call it. And this year was just so intense. I think it was just 2023 in general was a very intense healing spiritual journey for me. So I think I would say that the past couple years is when I really just dove into my gifts. And I definitely have friends on the other side in all aspects. And it's just so much more than our human minds can comprehend, how connected spirit is to us, and our angels, and how close they are to us. They're literally all around us all the time, and we can't see them. And it's pretty wild.
You're often confronted by unrestful spirits, even living ones grieving their lost loved ones and seeking closure. What's one thing you've learned about the afterlife that most people are mistaken about?
One thing I've learned about the afterlife that a lot of people are mistaken about is that it's not as simple as we think it is. A lot of us think, oh, you either go to heaven or you go to hell or you're in purgatory. It's not that simple. There's a lot to it. Everything that we experience is happening right now at this moment, and quantum physics proves that. And there's just been even scientific studies that prove how our universe is just layers and layers and layers of infinite dimensions and, multiple universes. I just think that we only know not even a little speck of everything going on around us. And I think that people just mistake the afterlife as being evil or things like that. And it's just like, you don't understand it. There's so many aspects of it, and everything's happening now, the past, the present, the future. It's all now. And it's almost like it bleeds into each other sometimes. So some things we experience might be things from the past, like residual energy that we're tapping into, or it could be us in the future that we're tapping into. There's so much love in the universe. Like, the afterlife is so much love. Of course, there's, other aspects of the positive and negative energy. Once you tap into the higher source consciousness, it is the most loving, beautiful, magical thing you can you can't even imagine it, I guess. Like, it's crazy. I don't even have words for it.
You are constantly creating unique, gripping projects spanning from supernatural, musical, and dance to acting, a ghost hunting mobile game, intoxicated podcast, and more. What are some images on your hypothetical vision board or literal visions you've had of your future that you're excited about?
Oh my gosh, that's a great question. Like literal visions or hypothetical visions. Sometimes I can't tell the difference, but then it always happens. It's like, I don't know, because we do all create our own realities. So it's like, I don't know if I'm seeing into the future or if I'm just creating my future. And so that's something I've been trying to figure out myself. There's so many things. I'm so excited to start my acting journey. I've had visions of it, or I've seen it, or I'm creating it. And I just know it's going to happen. And I just know that I'm going to dive into acting more so, and that everything is just going to keep expanding in the most beautiful, positive way. And I finally found peace within myself and within my environment. I feel like I'm surrounded by people that I truly love, and they love me and care about me. Just surrounded by the right people, which is really, really important. And there's so many things. I was just working on level 2 of our game I'm doing with Aaron Hibbard, and we have level 1, which is really cool. So we're working on level 2 right now, and it's just so cool. I'm just so grateful to be able to do everything that I want to do, and I've worked so hard for, and I'm just able to have that creative freedom.
You took a life-changing trip recently that you said enlightened you and gave you peace. Can you share what you discovered?
It was completely life-changing. And yeah, not only did it enlighten me, but I reached enlightenment, which is something I've tried to explain to people, but a lot of people are like, oh, I'm enlightened too. And I'm like, yeah, but I reached this state of this consciousness of enlightenment. Like I was one with the source. I was the source. I was all knowing, all seeing. It was terrifying, but also beautiful and magical at the same time. And the most intense thing I've ever experienced in my entire life. There's just no putting words to it. It's something that completely changed my perspective. It flipped my entire everything upside down. Everything I thought I knew was just ripped out from under me. And we're truly infinite beings. We are all part of the same source energy, the same, whatever you want to call it, God, universe, all, everything. We are all part of it. There's a lot of us who are here to help, humanity, which is like our earth realm. There's so many different layers and things that are infinite, but I guess I'm like trying not to sound crazy as I say this, but I volunteered to come back here, as did a lot of other people. And I'm sure other people listening to this, they know that they volunteered to come back to Earth to help humanity wake up. And that's what I was relayed and reminded of. And I remembered my past lives in Egypt and all these different things that were just so overwhelming. And yeah, even talking about it, I just start shaking. My body starts vibrating because I just understood everything and all at that moment. I don't have all that, knowledge right now. Of course, I think some people are able to constantly be in the state of enlightenment or enlightened consciousness, and it's just too much for me. But if I like smoke marijuana or if I'm in deep meditation, I reach that state of consciousness and I'm able to see things in the walls like hieroglyphics, a lot of eyes with wings, which are the biblical representation of angels. And I'm able to see it because everything around us is made up of divine consciousness. And yeah, there's no way I can fit everything I learned into, even a lifetime of explaining it.
Not only have you accomplished so much, you've helped countless people open their minds, question reality, and to accept others and themselves along the way. If you could travel back in time, what's one thing you would tell your younger self or someone in similar shoes?
I'm so grateful that I'm able to help people open their minds and, question things, because we should question things, because a lot of the stuff that we're grown up believing or taught is to control. That's literally why I came back to Earth, is to help people open their minds and open that state up and know that you're capable of opening that up. You're capable of tapping into your gifts, your clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, all the clairs. You are able to tap into that. It's not just a selective, amount of people. Yes, there are some people that are born with it more open. It depends on how you're raised and the environment you grow up in and everything like that. So it's great. I'm just grateful to know that I am making some sort of a difference as well as so many other people. And I feel like if I could travel back in time, I would just let myself know that to trust the universe more. That's something that I lacked, and it gave me anxiety because I was always scared of what was going to happen next. And I didn't trust the universe enough to just allow things to happen. And once I started really just trusting the universe, everything just falls into place and works in such beautiful ways. And everything negative, that I perceive as negative that I've experienced is all transformed into a learning lesson or something positive to benefit myself and my soul and my growth.
Your latest song release, September 10th, is beautiful and heart-wrenching. I relate to battling CPTSD and its often inconvenient symptoms. What are some ways you calm your nervous system and practice self-love?
I'm so glad that September 10th reached so many people. I was so nervous about releasing it because it was digging into something that impacted me, but it was something that transformed me as well and opened my eyes and helped me, just pushed me towards this awakening of just beyond belief, And some ways to calm your nervous system and practice self-love is gratitude. It sounds, so simple, but it really is simple like that. Just expressing gratitude and love for yourself and love for others and trusting and knowing that every single thing happens for a reason. Our universe is perfect. It is like we experience perfection, being in this realm or as humans in a lower vibrational realm, but the universe is absolutely flawless and it is so genius. Every time I tap into the enlightened, consciousness, I always say that out loud. I'm like, this is genius. This is so beautiful. Every little thing happens for a reason, even if it's small, even if you stub your toe. It is to that extent. And meditation helps, yoga, different practices to tap into yourself and your soul and your highest self, which is part of Source.
Thank you so much, Kelsi. It's an honor having you. Everybody listening, make sure you go follow Kelsi Davies everywhere. I will post the links in the description of this podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Remember to rate us wherever you're listening, and subscribe and share. Have a wonderful, empowered day, and we'll see you next time.